For a decade, Portugal has topped nearly every best places to retire abroad list. And it earns it. The coast, the pace, the healthcare, the welcome. If you've dreamed about it, that dream is absolutely within reach. Now, you may have heard the famous 10% tax deal changed a couple of years back. It did. But that's not a reason to give up on Portugal. It's a reason to plan with today's numbers instead of a 3-year-old video. So, let's do exactly that. A real couple, the current rules, honest numbers, and find out whether Portugal works for them. Meet Dave and Susan, both 62, retiring from Austin. About 1.1 million saved, hoping for a $55,000 a year life near Lisbon, with Social Security a little later. The dream is Cascais. So, let's pressure test it, the way an honest planner would. Across the 3 things that actually decide it abroad: taxes, the visa, and the fact that they'll earn in dollars but spend in euros. I built their plan in a tool called Alestero. Full disclosure, it's mine, because most retirement calculators simply can't model any of this. Watch what it can do. First, the thing most articles get wrong. That famous deal is called NHR, and for 10 years it taxed foreign retirement income at a flat 10%. Genuinely great, which is why so many older videos still call Portugal a tax haven. Here's the update. For anyone becoming a resident in 2024 or later, that version closed. There's a newer program you'll see called NHR 2.0, officially IFICI, but its lower rate is aimed at certain high-value careers. Pensions and retirement income don't qualify. None of this is a deal breaker. It just means you plan on the current rules. And this is exactly where a good tool earns its keep. The moment I set their move to 2026, Alestero already knows. It applies today's rules automatically, so you're never budgeting on a number that quietly expired. So, what would they pay? Portugal's income tax is progressive, like America's, roughly 13% at the bottom up to 48% at the top, with a pension deduction and investment gains taxed separately. But you don't need the brackets. You need the bottom line, and Alestero gives it to you straight. On about $75,000 of retirement income, the old deal would have meant around $7,500 a year in Portuguese tax. On today's rules, it's about $23,000. That's real money. And knowing it now, before you move instead of after, is exactly what keeps a good plan on track. No surprises, that's the whole point. Before any of that, there's the visa, and this one's reassuring. The usual retiree path is the D7, and it asks for steady passive income above Portugal's minimum wage, around 820 euros a month, plus half again for a partner. Dave and Susan clear it more than 3 times over, and Alestero checks it against their guaranteed income and confirms they qualify before they ever book a flight. Most calculators never even ask this question. Alestero just answers it for you. Now, the one almost nobody plans for, they'll save in dollars but spend in euros. Most tools grab today's exchange rate and freeze it forever, which tells you nothing. Alestero does the honest thing. It leans on the long-term levels the euro and dollar drift back toward and shows you the whole range, the cheaper years and the pricier ones, so you can see at a glance that even the tougher currency decades stay well inside what this plan can handle. That's not a scary guess. That's peace of mind you can actually see. So, taxes, visa, currency, all together. Does Portugal work for Dave and Susan? Yes. Their money lasts in over 99% of the 1,000 market scenarios we test, even paying the full current tax rates. That's the headline. This dream is fundable, and Alestero shows you the trade-offs with the same honesty. Yes, today's rules take a bigger bite than the old deal did, and you can see exactly what that means for what you'd leave behind. But here's the part I love. Portugal isn't your only option. One click puts the same couple, same budget side by side with Spain, and shows you where their money actually goes furthest. That's the real question this answers. Not just, can I afford Portugal, but where do we thrive? Here's the takeaway. Portugal is still a wonderful place to retire, and for a lot of people, the numbers genuinely work. You just want to run your numbers on today's rules, not a stranger's from 3 years ago. So, do that. It's free to start, it takes an afternoon, and it's your plan, not Dave and Susan's. The link's below. Alestero isn't tax advice. It's the honest current picture you bring to the person who signs off on it. Go see if your Portugal works. I think you'll be glad you did.